What's up, everyone? Richard the Beast here. Today we're going to be going to St. Thomas, Nevada. When the park boundaries lies a ghost town that was indeed uh, was initiated when Lake Mead first filled up in the 1930s. Once a Mormon settlement, St. Thomas thrived as a stopping point between Los Angeles and Salt Lake City along the Arrowhead Trail. So, St. Thomas was founded in 1865 by Mormon settlers who mistakenly thought they were still in Utah, Arizona territories. The location was a prime farming spot at the confluence of the Muddy and Virgin Rivers, which flowed to the Colorado River 22 miles south of Nevada, Las Vegas University libraries. However, the Mormons were not the first inhabitants of the region. The ancestral Pallolian and the basket makers made their home in the area. In fact, located across the rivers from St. Thomas was an ancestral Puebloan settlement that became known as the Lost City, which has been recreated in the town of Overton at the Lost City Museum. The Mormons settled here until it was discovered that they actually settled in Nevada. Nevada officials demand 5 years back taxes, which the Mormons refused to pay. So, after a vote, they decided to abandon the town, save for one family, the Bonells. The Mormons buried down their homes. Well, Mormons burned down their homes and abandoned their crops and moved to Salt Lake City. Around the 1880s, new settlers began to arrive at the town site. These settlers discovered that the soil was good for farming. The peak population of St. Thomas was around 500 people. There was a school, post office, grocery stores, church, soda fountain, and several garages for the new invention of the automobile. What St. Thomas did not have was indoor plumbing or electricity. But more memories written by the former townspeople were of a happy and simple life. In 1928, President Calvin Coolidge signed the bill authorizing the building of Boulder Hoover Dam. The dam would be create a large lake behind it, Lake Mead, and as the waters rose, areas that had been high and dry along Muddy and Virgin rivers would be inundated by the lake. The residents of St. Thomas were told they would have to relocate and that the government would reimburse them for their property. The filling of Lake Mead started in 1935 as the waters rose slowly. The town was overtaken by Lake Mead. One of the lost residents to have leave was Hugh Lord, who paddled away from his home when the rising water lapped at his front door in 1938. When the lake reached its high water mark, St. Thomas was 60 foot below the water surface. With the fluctuations of the lake water level, St. Thomas was arisen from the depths several times since 1938, in 1945, 1963, and 2012. There were reunions of former residents and family members today. The town is still exposed, and visitors can roam the roads and trails that were once thrived while West Town. What's up, everyone? Welcome to St. Thomas. All right. You can see some of the. It was a lot different at night. Last time I came here, but when I came down here, it started to rain. So St. Thomas site was from 1865 to 1938. So it's about 2.5 miles to the area. So let's check it out, shall we? Oh, go ahead, man. How was it down there?
You know, I mean, the foundations are all there. There's like, well, you can see the really tall one out there.
Yeah.
The other ones are just a foot or so high on the foundations.
How many's down there?
Eight? I don't know.
Yeah?
I didn't count. I didn't stop at every one of them.
Thanks, man. Have a good
Yeah,
day.
once you get this little bit of hill, you go down a little bit, it's off that.
It just goes up, loop around.
Yeah, it loops around the old street pattern. It's really kind of cool.
Thanks, ma'am. Alright, we're gonna make our way. I hear gizzards. I hope I heard something. Hope I don't get eaten by coyotes or whatever made that. Oh, that's what I needed to do. Alright. So I forgot to turn on my walking meter. So, that way, if I do get lost. Because there is no light. I was when I had the budget, I was thinking about buying kind of like a light markers where, well, I had the spray, but that blew up. So I'm thinking about purchasing a light marker so that way I don't get lost as easily. It's actually nice right now. It doesn't look like it's gonna rain. Look at that. I hope I'm going the right way. What the hell is that? I'm not about to be eaten by gizzards right now. I don't see them. Oh shit. You see it? Oh shit. I hope they don't see me as food right now. Huh. Hope I don't get lost. Okay, I can see more of the trails now. Oh. Holy shit. There's so many. I never wonder what's here. Oh, some bug flew at my nose. So farmers from ancient modern, in a good year, settlers harvest up to 5,000 pounds of lint, the usable part of the cotton plant. After the seed and leaves are removed, it takes about 1,470 pounds of freshly picked cotton to produce a 480-pound bale of lint. More than 300 pairs of denim jeans can be made from a bale. What are from the cloths made of that you are wearing today? There's a picture at St. Thomas, the Vale, farm workers at St. Thomas, and Albert Franner and Levi Siftis use Franner's cherishing machine. I wonder if that's how you got the name Levi's. Oh, this sand is soft. The dirt is soft. Almost feels like a beach right now. And walking through that. This is really different compared to at night. Well, actually, it's gonna be getting dark pretty soon. It's almost 6 o'clock now. That's not saying he is freaking. there. Wanted back taxes in 1864. Eventually, the settlers of St. Thomas thought they were in Utah or Arizona territories, as the boundaries line were not well defined. December 19, 1870, a boundary survey determined that St. Thomas was actually in Nevada. Country tax collector demanded settlers pay several years of bad taxes in gold or silver coin immediately. The settlers had little faith that the tax payments made to Nevada would be used responsibly, and they did not possess the required currency, as payments to Utah and Arizona were made by an informally bartering system. The townspeople turned to Brigham Young for advice. He allowed them to take a vote to stay or go. The next day, December 20th, 1870, the majority voted 63-2 to abandon St. Thomas. The original settlers departed, but because of the attractiveness of the area, St. Thomas was gradually repopulated over the next decade. Daniel Bonilli and his family remained in the area to operate the Bonilli Ferry. Ow, freaking fly. Ferry along the Colorado River. He also operated a salt mine and was successfully rancher. Bonelli invested in the irrigation system that were already in place, so as people moved back to St. Thomas, he benefited monetarily. What a hard. Hope I'm going the right way.
Duration, 10 minutes 0 seconds. Distance, 0.3 miles. 50 calories burned. Pace, 32 minutes 7 seconds per mile. Look at that. All right, what's the next one? What is land worth?
Boulder Dam Act of 1928, signed into law by President Calvin Coolidge, authorized the construction of Boulder Dam. This meant the end for St. Thomas, as the rising water of Lake Mead would eventually inundate the town. The government assembled a three-man committee consisting of a local resident, Levi Simphus, and Washington, D.C., appraiser Harry Crane, and Cecil Creel, to determine the value of these lands. Levi Simphus determined the overall land value at $961,158.75, despite considerable disagreement from the town people regarding their individual land values. Crane and Creel valued the land at $833,028.40. The Crane and Creel calculations were approved in 1931. What might be the value of St. Thomas land be today? What do you think should be determined the value of the land and homes in the United States? Residents began dismantling their homes and moving to nearby towns. By 1932, St. Thomas was becoming a ghost town. Only a few Harley individuals remained. In June 1938, Hugh Lors lit his house on fire and left by boat as the water was leaping at his door. Wow. Alright. We got another structure coming up. Oh, look, there's a lizard. Right by the tree. Alright. Oasis along the trail. St. Thomas was a major stop along the Arrowhead Trail. The Arrowhead Trail was the first designated automobile route between Salt Lake City and Los Angeles. The hard work of maintaining the road often fell to the residents. They agreed to rake more than 100 miles of these dirt roads to keep it in good condition throughout the year. The Arrowhead Trail was considered an all-weather road as it route stayed at lower elevations, so it did not have to close in the winter. This allowed the local economy to prosper. That's a car. A car on the road in St. Thomas. Water from what will be Lake Mead can be seen advancing in the background circa 1938. Crossing the sometimes treacherous waters of the Virgin River became easier with the building of this bridge in 1915. After surviving numerous floods, the bridge burned in 1925. Clark County commissioners were aware the rising water was a future reservoir now known as Lake Mead would eventually flood the town. The Arrowhead Trail was rerouted to the north today. Interstate 15 followed the same route. As you explore St. Thomas, note that stumps that line either side of the roads, overtly of trees watered by irrigation ditches, once provided shade throughout the town, making it an oasis in the middle of the desert.
Duration.
St. Thomas was once covered by more than 70 feet of water. Lake Mead, time and again, receded and then engulfed this small town located 54 miles upstream from Hoover Dam. Anglers, boaters, and swimmers played above these ruins over the years. Today, visitors walk among the foundation and immigrating daily life as it unfolded in St. Thomas more than 100 years ago. So you can 1945, 1965, 1948, 2012. These trees are originally lined with tall shade trees and filled with laughter, have host reunions of former residents proud of their family connections to this town. However, the year family members have returned to celebrate and honor their pioneer past and parents, grandparents, and neighbors who congratulatingly settled this remote and beautiful part of the Mojave Desert. At the 1965 reunion, former U.S. Senator Berkeley L. Bunker, wearing a beat-up old hat, told the crowd that he had burned his hat next to his house as a lake rose in the 1930s. On the morning of the reunion, he dug it up and plopped it on his head. The train is here. 1911, constructed, began on a St. Thomas. Upon completion, trains arrived in the community pulling box cars filled with commercial goods and refrigerated cars filled with ice for household use. At last, portable food could be stored for longer periods of time. Residents were able to replace their wood, wire, and burlap desert coolers with ice boxes. Trains departed the valley with shipments of ore and salt from the outlying mining area, along with fresh cantaloupes, watermelon, and other farm products for sale elsewhere. St. Thomas hosted a giant celebration on the day the railroad was completed, June 7, 1912. A contest was held to name the most popular lady in Clark County. The honor went to Mildred Henderson, who drove in the engraved ceremonial copper and silver spike donated by Grand Gulch Copper Company. Oh, look at this. Oh, foundation. This looks like the house got buried halfway. Look at that. Oh, wow. That had to be like another door or something right there. What's that over there? Holy shit, that's deep. You can see in there. Oh, holy shit. You can't even see down there. Partial. Life changed little through the decades as people dealt with daily struggles. Excessive heat and illness were all too common, but the settlers preserved neighbors, helped neighbors with planting and harvesting and building. If there was a serious injury or emergency, residents had to travel to a nearby community for help. Homes were built of adobe and later stone or wood brought from southern Utah and were decorated with handcrafted gables surrounded by hedge and cottonwood and other shade trees. St. Thomas was a peaceful little town. Food storage was difficult in the desert. The desert cooler, illustrated below, consisted of a wood box draped in wet burlap. Ice arrived in 1912 aboard refrigerator rail cap, and the community welcomed the use of ice boxes. Water supply bucket contained small holes that kept the burlap covering saturated with water. As airflow throughout the burlap covered framework evaporated, cooled the hot, dry desert air. Down here. 'Almost looks like a river, doesn't it? Oh, look at that. Wow. .604. Nice. Using picks, shovels, and scrapers, the Mormon settlers built.
Duration 30 minutes 0 seconds. Distance 0.7 miles. 150 calories burned. Pace 40 minutes 32 seconds per mile.
built an irrigation system from the Muddy River to their fields and orchards. By 1869, the system had been extended upriver to provide the town with more dependable water source. The ditches and concrete lined canal wound through the town, bringing water to the community. We dipped our water up with a bucket out of the ditch and put it into a big iron barrel. Then we put ashes into the soften the water. No matter how really muddy the water was, it was no time till it began quitting clear. Yeah, quite clear. Located through the town, certains allowed people to draw buckets of water for their daily use. Each held a several months supply of water, which was filtered through charcoal and sand. The smallest member of the family was lowered into the certain once a year to scrub the wall. Today, the certain cisterns, some up to 18 feet deep, are covered with iron grates for safety reason. Children play in the water while parents work nearby, maintaining the irrigation system of St. Thomas. Holy moly. Alright, let's take a look, shall we? 18 feet. Holy moly. See? Okay, I don't see no birds. Oh, what is... Whoa. Part of a car? Yep, it has to be. You can see we're part of a train or something. We caught those. Wow. Look at those. You can see those trees. Where are those trees? Those trees are probably dead, probably. Hopefully I don't get lost. I think this is the Nert well. Holy shit. That's huge. That is deep. Oh, you can see the... hope I don't get bit by snakes. But there is a house. There's a house over there. Shit, that's what I'm afraid. If there's lizards. Shit. Is there a way to get to it? It's all covered in bush. I don't have the shoes for it. I'm gonna try to go through. Ah, jeez. Okay. Ow. Ooh, ah. E. Okay. Ow. Ow. You guys better like and subscribe on this one. I'm getting scratched by bushes. These are dried up bush too. Well, not dry, mostly dry, but they're. Oh. Oh wow. Wow. Something used to sit there. Ow! Oh! Ah! Oh! I don't even plan how I'm getting through. I'm just going through. Ow! Ay! Oh shit! Yes, I mean that one. Oh shoot! Try not to step on it. Oh, that's a big bark right there. That must have been an old tree right there. Wow. What used to be here? Something used to be right there. I don't think it was a parking lot, was it? Oh shit, I almost stepped in red ants. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's another well. Wait, what's underneath it? See, there's red ants. Shit. I hope there's no snake. Ow! Yeah, I thought I missed that bush. I don't know what this is. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm hoping I don't get lost.
Duration, 39 minutes 41 seconds. Distance, 1 mile. 199 calories burned. Pace, 39 minutes 32 seconds per mile.
Sun's starting to go down. Well, not much, but I think the sun goes down probably about 7:45, hopefully. So right now we're at 6:13. Oh, look at that. What is this? It looks like a dumbbell. Almost. Well, this is probably like a shock. Hydraulics for a commercial vehicle, maybe. Usually. That's what it looks like, kind of. So I'm going to do a live stream in just a little bit after I finish all this. I'm going to do a separate video. Making a living business along the Arrowhead Trail. Farming and ranching were the main occupations over the years. although a few small businesses did spring up along the dusty road of St. Thomas. Reinhold and Celinda Honning built the grocery store and soda fountain, also known as the Hanging Ice Cream Parlor. The remnants of the building are before you. Preston Nutter operated a grocery store just down the street, and William Seller opened a cafe along the Arrowhead Trail. Gentry Hotel provided lodging for weary travelers. Two visitors at St. Thomas stand among what remain of the Hang Ice Cream Parlor in the 1930s. Most people had to travel to St. George, Utah for formal banking. Money exchange around town were carried out by using endorsed checks, which were legal tender many times. A check was passed from person to person. Recipients would endure the check and pass it on until there was no more room on the check for endorsements. It was then returned to the maker. Checks were written for as little as 10 cents and in a few cases more than $5. People used a raft to navigate the flooded road past the former St. Thomas post office. Let's go down this way. Look at that. Mining mountains. Mining brought prosperity to the community for a few decades. Salt and sand were mined nearby. Miners such as copper, silver, and gold were abundant in the mountains. To the east of St. Thomas during World War I, copper prices were high, but with the end of the war, the price of copper crashed, causing an immediate downturn in local economy. Salt mining. Several salt mines were submerged by the water of Lake Mead. Salt was mined prior to the arrival of European settlers by Native Americans. Tools such as stones, hammers, string, sandal fragments, potsherds, and burnt sticks believed to be used as torch were found at the mine sites. The Grand Gulch mine was one of more than 40 active mines in the area in the early 1900s. Wagons hauled supplies to the mine and returned loads with ore. The official weight of the ore was taken by the county gentry store. This is a big building right here. Education was important to the settlers. Prior to the construction of the St. Thomas Schoolhouse, parents provided a variety of places for their children's schooling, including tents, parlors, or living rooms. The steps these children are posed on rose to a two-story missionary school building constructed in 1915. The structure consisted of 4 classrooms a large auditorium, and a space upstairs for dance and plays. Wow. The school, with the 8th grade, was in session until 1932. Students bound for high school in nearby Overton bounced along in a converted Model T Ford truck lined with bench Flora Killer. Remember calling the bus. The turn of having an uncomfortable ride over rough gravel and dirt road. Wow.